I find it fascinating that in the some 30 plus years that I have been attending SEMA shows and been actively involved for well over 30 years, that I always learn something new every time I come. And this time my knowledge increase comes from a source of knowledge. We're talking about the School of Automotive Machinists. I'll be very candid with you, I never knew it existed until I had the opportunity to meet our guest, Judson Massingill, the founder and instructor at the school in Houston, Texas. Judd, it is a fascinating story that you have got a school that teaches automotive machining, not automotive mechanics.
That's correct.
And what courses do you offer?
We have two basic courses. We break it down to cylinder block, okay, which would be the bore and hone and balance and camshaft, etc. And then cylinder heads is a separate course where they obviously do the conventional stuff to the cylinder heads, but also the flooring, the porting, you know, all the time-consuming things to make the power. We basically say that the short block is to stay together, okay, and the heads are where the power comes from.
Where do you find your students for a course like this?
All over the world, actually. We just had one graduate about 3 weeks ago from Aruba, but we've had them from, I think, 11 countries outside the United States, and then all over the United States, obviously.
Is this an accredited school? The government has looked upon you with favor, I hope?
Certainly. The Department of Education and the Veterans Administration both approve our courses. Students that qualify for student loans are there. Some of them obviously have a parent, grandparent that take care of the bill, but we are accredited in all ways.
How big a class do you try to teach each time?
What we do is the theory, the actual how the internal combustion engine starts, runs, how we make cylinder pressure is done in a classroom, okay? And that one will have about 25 people in it. And then you'll break out into what we call the lab area where we actually bore, hone, balance, degree the cams, and then of course the cylinder heads are in a separate department, but also down there in the lab.
And this is real hands-on work. I mean, we're not just talking about a bunch of graphs or drawings up on a board.
Absolutely. We started with a 99 LS1 Camaro back in 2000. It's been in Hot Rod Magazine a number of times, and we've taken that car from 1330s off the showroom floor. Today it runs 9-teens at over 150 miles an hour. The students did every bit of the work on it.
And you were telling me you have a new motor for that car that you hope will put it in the 8s.
Yes, it's going to be a C5R headed car. The old engine was all LS6 stuff. This one's going to be a C5R head block, dry sump, and we think that should run in the 8s relatively easy.
You are currently involved in a project with Hot Rod Magazine as well, something new.
Yes, the Hot Rod Magazine is having us build a 340 Dart. The gentleman that owns it has had this car since 1972. Wow. He was 18 years old when he bought it. It's a stick shift car, which we really favor those also. But we're going to take this thing and build it on pump. It has to run on pump gas. He wants a daily driver, and we're going to go with the late model aluminum heads. We're going to put a stroker kit in to make it 400 inches, and we should make about 520, 530 horsepower on pump gas, naturally aspirated.
Do you have your own dyno?
Our own dyno. We have both an engine dyno and a chassis dyno.
What kind of placement rate do you have of graduates?
We actually have a waiting list for our graduates. The government does track this, and our official placement rate is somewhere around 98%.
Oh, that is amazing. Do they just go to automotive machine shops? Is that basically where they are absorbed into the marketplace?
Right now, in NHRA Pro Stock, we have at least 5 teams with our graduates on it. Top Fuel, we have 3 or 4. Funny Car, we have 3 or 4. And the current top 10 in Next Cup all have our graduates.
Did you start this school with the intent of training racing machinists?
That was it. In other words, we knew there were machinists out there, and we knew there were plenty of good schools for mechanics. But we wanted to build racing engines, and that's what it's for.
Do you find it's easier to teach a person who has no experience at all, or to take one that maybe learned the wrong way and try to convert him to the gospel?
That's a very good question. It's tough. I tell you, sometimes we have what we call an orientation class for 30 days, and a lot of time we do spend getting some bad ideas out of their head.
Yeah.
We do get some good ones, but some of them, there's a lot of misinformation in the industry.
Well, Judd, you are not only performing a service, but it is an intriguing story indeed. I wish you well with the School of Automotive Machinists down in Houston, Texas. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for being here.
All right.